Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the workshop. It's fantastic to have you here as ever. This is part 24 of working on a Viking sword. The whole aim here is for me to keep raising the bar on the quality of the work that it is that I make by making a piece that is the best thing I've ever done. This involves a lot of learning. It's very difficult, but it is a joy to bring you along for this. I want to thank today's sponsor, Skillshare. Speaking of learning, they help make that happen. It's an online learning community with over 22,000 courses in everything from photography, business, to marketing, to making nice watercolors, and you can check that out at the link below. Thank you, Skillshare, for sponsoring the video. This is all we have left to do. We've got to cut a touch mark, do gold inlay, outline polish, matting, twist gold, inlay gold, finish the guard, corners, paint the guard, set the... We've still got a long way to go. Fortunately, I know the solution, and that's that there's nothing to it but to do it. Boy, does it feel good to start crossing off some of the things off this list. We've got lots to go, lots to learn, but we're gonna get straight back into that because now, again, we've got to think about design before we put that gold wire in. So here's what I've done. I've taken the sword out here. We're in front of my big doors. There's a beautiful overcast day, which means that I have all of this soft light coming in and hitting it, which is going to be the best way to have a look at it and really get the best idea of what I need to do. And I've come to a decision, and that is, before I decide if the pommel needs more work, because I have decided, holy moly were the runnings tight in the comments, but I have decided that I want to paint this background, and because of that, I think I should do that before my final decision on the pommel. So, I'm gonna pull these pieces off. Working out order of operations is hard. I'm not gonna do that. Well, I mean, I am gonna do that, but I'm gonna do one thing first. So as I have discovered from a friendly commenter who said, hey Alec, you're gonna need to get this thing assayed, right? I'm gonna definitely need to get this thing assayed. And so confused as I was as to the term assay, what is that? I need to get this thing assayed. Well, when something has been assayed, it shows the validity of the precious metal contents within it, and it also shows what types of precious metals are in something, their carat number, their purity, and that you're not getting sold copper when you're paying for gold. And so I discovered that when you have over a gram of gold in a piece that you are selling, and you are saying that there is gold there, you need to get it certified. You need to get it assayed to prove that it is a gram of gold and to prove that you're not selling 10 karat gold while claiming it's 24 karat gold. And so there are places called assay offices which will assay your work. You send a workpiece in, they give it the old inspection-a-rooney, and then you get stamps in your work that'll say various things and will tell a customer, yes, the Assay Office London has indeed verified that this piece has 18 karat gold in it and was built in this year by this maker. Now I got a little concerned when I heard this because that's right, you heard me say it, stamp. They stamp it in your work. Well, they can also laser engrave it, but the stamping does look pretty cool. So that aside apart, they're gonna have to take my work and they're gonna need to test it and they're gonna need to stamp into the gold itself, the purity of the gold, the fact that it has been stamped, I mean, all of that stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, well, holy moly, that's going to destroy my inlay. I've got these beautiful scenes, where could they possibly stamp? Maybe I've got to make a place for them to stamp on it. I don't know. So I called up the assay office. I have a friendly conversation. I tell them that I'm making a very sharp sword, and in the interests of nobody losing any fingers at the assay office, is it possible to send in the pieces of it without the rest of the blade? It is. And he thought it was a great idea for me to make a spot for them to stamp in their assay marks. And so the first thing I need to do is make that spot. Now, why do I need to do that before I paint it? Well, if I paint it first and then I do more engraving on the side of this thing, I'm going to end up damaging the paint. So the plan is as follows. Here is our lower guard. Right in here, over here, so on this inside side of our lower guard, we are going to cut ourselves a groove, inlay some 18-karat gold, and we'll have ourselves a good spot for them to stamp. Now, you might be asking yourself, why 18-karat gold, Alec? You've been using fine 24-karat gold for all the rest of the inlay. Well, they assess the fineness of the gold based on the lowest carat number gold that you have in the piece. And the settings for my garnet eyes of the beasts are going to have to be 18-karat gold, because short of making my own gold, that was the only way of getting gold thick enough for them that I could find. Which means that no matter what, this piece is not going to get rated to 24-karat gold standard. It's going to be rated to 18-karat gold standard. And in any case, I only have gold thick enough for this inlay in 18-karat gold. Wait. We gotta pause. Interrupt here. So before I put graver to steel, I'm like, okay, let me just call the assay office just one more time, make sure we're happy on the measurements for this little gold pad I'm gonna make. And then I'm told, wow, actually, hang on a second, Alec. Don't do anything yet, because we're actually not sure if you need it to be hallmarked, which means that you might end up sending this in and then we're not able to hallmark it. So maybe I do need to hallmark it, maybe I don't. Maybe they can hallmark it, maybe they can't. So now I play the waiting game, and I think there is something else that I can do, which is I'm gonna take this. This is the upper guard. This isn't what we have in the vise. This goes at the top near the pommel, and I'm gonna make sure that this is finished up, ready for paint and ready for garnet. You see, if we zoom in here, we have a boatload of little scratches that we need to get out, and they're from scribing things, they're from it banging around as it's in and out of a vise, all that fun stuff, so we just need to give this a little cleanup. And while we're waiting, we might as well do our first coat of paint. This side looks unbelievable. This side doesn't look good enough. Doesn't look good enough. I've done multiple coats of the paint to achieve this look, and it looks so nice on this side. So what I was doing is I was putting the paint on, and then, you know, minute later, something like that, wiping it off with paper with a hard backing, and it took away a lot of the excess. It worked well to gently build up a light little coating, but on this side here, I think it was a coat or two ago, I let that paint sit on there for maybe kind of 3 minutes. And I think that's the problem, because right now it just looks too thick and the paint has just taken up all the texture instead of working into the texture. So that's a bummer, because I don't know how to get paint off of something. And I have a lot of paint on my hands too. I don't know how I'm gonna get it off of there. I guess we'll try some degreaser. I'm pretty frustrated right now. This does not feel good. The degreaser took some of the paint off. Fantastic. Put a little extra paint in, start cleaning off the paint, off the excess. And I think this is part of the reason why I let the paint sit a little bit too long on the first time. When I wipe the paint off the excess, it also wipes it away from some of the background, and you can see in these shots here, the background is reflecting some light back at us where the paint has been stripped from the surface. So this is extremely annoying. I thought I was done with this piece weeks ago. I was just so excited. Like, yes, I'm putting paint on it. It's almost done. Ugh. Sadly, my excitement doesn't count for a whole lot, and the reality is, if I want this piece to look good, which I do, I need to take my flex shaft and a carbide burr, remove the depth of the background on this piece again, 2 weeks after doing it, and then quickly restipple it, and then it should be ready for a final coat of paint to make it match the other side. That background needs to be deeper. I got nervous there for a minute, but that painted background is worth it. It looks amazing. And more good news. I got the confirmation this does need to be hallmarked, as I suspected, and it can be hallmarked. So it's back to doing a little 18 karat gold inlay so that we can make a little place for some hallmarking. Now, I know I said I was going to be inlaying this with 18 karat gold, and I made that whole prelude to that. Well, I tried inlaying the 18 karat gold, and it just would not budge. I tried annealing it, and then it just didn't. It was not soft enough. So what I had to do is I took 2 pieces of 1mm 24 karat fine gold, and I stuck those in that groove side by side, and miraculously, it worked. The 2 pieces, they went down flush, they lined up nicely, and there were no seams, which is good. And that still means that we're keeping as much of this piece 24 karat gold as possible. Just in case you're not familiar with what the differences are in carats, well, to determine the purity of gold or a gold alloy, they basically divide the gold up into 24 parts. If you have 24 parts, or 24 karat gold, that is effectively 100% gold. If you have 18 karat gold, that's pretty much 75% gold. And the reason these different alloys exist is to be able to have a stronger material that still retains the physical properties of gold, and then in some cases to make the piece cheaper because they're using, you know, like whatever, 9 karat gold or something. And so after having inlaid the gold, I then went to sanding those flats there. I did it on the granite block. I thought, it's not special, I won't bother filming it. But as I was doing it, I then look at the bottom of the lower guard where the sword enters into it. We obviously punched that hole, and then way back like a month and a bit ago, I filed it and then did a little bit of work with, you know, some tools on the flex shaft. But it's rough, it doesn't look good, it doesn't look clean. And what's amazing about this project is even though I jumped into this project wanting to make the best thing I possibly could, I have learnt so much in this project that the work that I did a month ago just astounds me that I let that pass through as acceptable. And so I need to refinish that little radius there that's on that inside edge of our lower guard. We're going to do that with the flex shaft and some of our new jewelry tools. So that should again be a small investment of time for a good extra little perk up on the quality scale. So back we go. Oh yeah, it is looking so good. Both pieces are painted, which means that up next, I think, is garnet setting. That's what we've got to do before we come to a final decision on the pommel. This project is proving to be an unbelievable education, but it is taking a long time. And so that is a good segue to talk about our sponsor today, which is Skillshare. It's an online learning community with over 22,000 courses that you can take to help increase your skills in all sorts of things, from business to photography to marketing to drawing to painting. You can increase your skills with all of these things, and it's hopefully going to take you a little less time than it's taking me here in the workshop. I want to recommend this course by Yuko Shimizu. This is a drawing course. One of the things I've learned in this project is just how drawing is the underpinning and the foundation to any sort of successful crafting endeavor, and I'm hoping to learn a lot more drawing in the future. I hope you guys go check out that course. So make sure you hit my link down below to go to Skillshare, and the first 700 of you who do so are going to get your first 2 months of Skillshare for free. Premium membership usually starts at just $10 a month, which is phenomenal. Thank you, Skillshare, for sponsoring this episode. On another couple of things to say, I'm off traveling and visiting family, and so there are no videos for a while. It's going to be about a week. And then it's gonna be back to setting some garnets and back to finishing this Viking sword. And I am so sad and so disappointed that this thing isn't finished and we've got to interrupt this with this big break. But I know when we're back, we're gonna be making some more great progress and helping wrap this up into a really, really fabulous piece. And I wanna make sure to quickly thank the wonderful comments that I've received from you guys in regards to the length of this project, and the support is pretty incredible. I'm so pleased that you guys are enjoying seeing this build, despite the fact that it's taking so long. I know it is gonna be worth it. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Skillshare, for sponsoring it. Make sure you hit that link in the description below. And I'm gonna see you rather soon